So today, what we want to talk about in our Common Core is the law of sines, and we're also going to talk about area of a triangle. So we're going to do both because they both use the sine function. Okay, so dates 1, 5, 17. Okay, all right. So area of a triangle. 1/2 adjacent 1 times adjacent 2 times sine of the angle. So if you know the angle and the two adjacent sides, you can find the area of the triangle. It's actually pretty easy, okay? So let's look at example 1. So if I shift this paper up to example 1, there's my angle, and here's my two adjacent sides, right? So example 1, we're going to go area, or A, equals 1/2, because that's what the formula says, 1/2 adjacent 1, which is 12, times adjacent 2, which is 8, times the sine of 100. That's all we have to do. That's all you have to do. And of course, we're going to use our calculator to get the answer. Make sure we're in degree mode, right? Degree mode. Okay, so on my calculator, I'm just going to go 0.5 times 12 times 8 times the sine of 100. 47.27. It's that easy. It really is that easy. So my answer is just going to be a 47.27 centimeters squared because it's area, right? Not hard. Example 2. Thumbs up, you guys? You guys get it? Thumbs up? Pretty easy? Okay, example 2. Now there's not a triangle, but we can make a triangle, right? So in order to find the area of the pentagon, let's find the area of this triangle here, and then we'll multiply it by 5, right? Because there's 5 of these triangles within this pentagon. Okay, so let's find the area of one of these triangles. So first of all, to find the triangle, I know this is 10 also, but I need the central angle.
72.
72 is right. Nice job, Lane. Because it's 360 divided by 5 is 72. Nice. Totally right. Here you go. So to find the area of this triangle, okay, we're simply going to go 1/2 10 times 10 times the sine of 72. All right? It's just the same formula. It's going to be the 1/2 adjacent times adjacent sine of the angle. It's 1/2 10 times 10 times sine of 72. Let's use our calculator to get the answer. So we'll just go 0.5 times 10 times 10 times the sine of 72. Get an answer about 47.55. 47.55. But that's just the triangle, right? So we've got 5 of those triangles. Let's take our answer multiplied by 5, right? So the pentagon would be 5 times my 47.55, and I get an answer of about 237.76 centimeters squared. Not too bad, is it? Okay, I'm hoping today's an easy lesson for everybody, okay? All right? Okay, law of sines. And again, since I'm a nice guy, here it is. Here's the law of sines for you right there, okay? So you're going to use the law of sines to either find a missing side or a missing angle. But you absolutely must know, okay? You must know, like I said enough times, you absolutely have to know a pair of opposites, okay? You have to know a pair of opposites to do law of sines. And I do know a pair of opposites, don't I, okay? So if you know a pair of opposites, you can use the law of sines. So what I have then is I have my 5 and 36. I've got my angle D is 74, but I don't know its opposite. So let's call this side D, okay? So I'm going to set up my opposites, okay? I've got my 5, my 38, my 74, my D. It's got to be a pair of opposites. So again, always write down what you don't know first. So I'm going to use my formula. So I'm going to go opposite side. So I'm going to go little d over the sine of its angle. Sine is 74. Okay, I'll stop for a moment. So I go little d over the sine of 74. Okay, side over the sine of the angle equals 5 over the sine of 38. 5 over the sine of 38. Okay? There it is. I've got opposite over sine of its angle, opposite of sine of its angle. Okay, now, of course, I need to solve, so I'm going to multiply. I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to multiply that up there. Okay? To solve for d, I'll multiply that up there. And I'll have d is equal to 5 times the sine of 74 divided by the sine of 38. And I'm just going to use my calculator from here and just type in the numbers, get my answer. Okay? So clear. You guys see that? So I'm just going to go 5 times the sine of 74, close the parentheses, divided by sine of 38, close the parentheses, and I get an answer about 7.8. Okay, now I always like to ask myself, does that answer make sense? Could this side be 7.8? Yeah, I think so. I think that's a reasonable answer, okay? Okay, now, I know this side is 7.8. What else could I find in this triangle? What else could I find in this triangle? Yeah, angle E. You guys agree with Kaya? So to find angle E, I know all the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So let's go angle E is equal to 180 minus my 38 plus my 74. And I'll just use my calculator. 180 minus 38 plus 74. And I get an answer of about 68. So angle E is about 68 degrees. Okay, let me put that in there. 68. Okay. So that's just geometry. Remember? 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. So I added them up and subtract from 180. Okay. All right, now I still need to find little e. Okay, I got to find little e. But again, I have opposites. Okay, so if you have your opposites, you can do it. So I have a pair of opposites here, and I'll use a pair of opposites here. Opposite, 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 opposite. So write down what you don't know first. It's little e. So I'm going to write down little e over the sine of its angle, 68, equals 5 over the sine of 38. So it's side over the sine of its angle, side over the sine of its angle. It's really very easy. Okay, now I need to solve for little e, so we'll cross multiply, bring this up, multiply it right there. Little e is equal to 5 times the sine of 68 over the sine of 38, right? I use my calculator. Okay, I can do that. No problem. I can handle that. 5 times the sine of 68 divided by the sine of 38, and I get an answer of about 7.5. Okay, again, does that answer make sense? Could it be 7.5? Yeah, I think so. 7.5 makes sense in the context of the triangle, so I'm pretty sure I have the right answer. Okay, not that hard, is it? So again, what I want to do real quickly is, if you still haven't figured this stuff out right here, you could use the law of sines on that stuff because one of your angles is a 90-degree angle. Okay. Okay, ready to turn the page? One more problem. All right. Okay, so far, give me a feeling. Thumbs up, sideways, down. I want to see it. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't see any down, but sideways is okay because we're going to move it back up. Okay. All right. So, law of sines. Now, in this case, we're going to talk about the missing angle. So we don't know the missing angle. So I wrote the formula, exact same formula, but I wrote it upside down. So I have the angle on top. Okay. So if I want to find the angle, put the angle on top. Okay. So we need a pair of opposites. A pair of opposites. Do you see a pair of opposites? You guys agree? So here's where we start. We start with the 43 and the 22. Okay. I have a 20 for a side, so I could find angle E, right? I could find angle E because I'm looking for opposites, 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 okay? So what do? Let's use the formula. So it goes sine of theta 1 or sine of E. So I go, okay, sine of E, okay, sine of E over its opposite side. Okay, sine of the angle over its opposite side equals the sine of the angle, right, which is sine of 43, over its opposite side, which is 22. Alright, set up. So now all we have to do is cross multiply. We're going to 20 up there. I'll go sine of E over 20 equals, whoops, I'm sorry, I'm trying to cross multiply and I didn't. Sine of E equals, bring up the 20, come on. Sine of E equals 20 times the sine of 43 over 22. Okay, there we go. Just brought the 20 up there. How am I doing? So let's use my calculator, okay? Let's just go ahead and type that in. Clear. Shift over there so you can see. I'm just going to go 20 times the sine of 43 divided by 22, and I get a decimal. That can't be an angle, can it? It can't be an angle.
Inverse.
Okay, because we're looking for the angle. That's right. Twice. So we're going to have to use the inverse, right? If we want the angle, we need the inverse. So I'm going to take the sine inverse of that answer. You guys know where the answer button is? Because I don't want to retype all this, right? Here's the answer button. It's right by the negative. It's in blue. See the negative? When I use the answer button, it just puts that number right there. Does that make sense? It's right by the negative. I get about 38.3. So I get angle E is about a 38.3 degrees. Now that answer makes sense. It's an angle, right? 38.3, okay?
Wait, isn't that the other one?
Yes, it is, Caitlin. It wasn't Caitlin. Who said it? Thank you. You're totally right, Michaela. 38.3. Mr. Davies. There you go. Okay, now. Thank you. You're right. Okay, now, what about angle T? Can we find angle T? How about angle T? You're right. Michaela is totally right. Angle T is equal to 180 minus 43 plus 38.3. All right. You are anything but dumb. You are a smart girl. All right, minus parentheses 43 plus 38.3, and I get about a 98.7, okay? 98.7. Thanks, Michaela. I would have made a mistake if I had that in the wrong place, right? Okay, now, I've got one last thing to find. Little t. Okay, little t. I can find little t because I can use what I did over here, right? Let's just do what I did here because we're finding the side, right? So, again, write down what you don't know first. Little t. We want to solve for a little t, so write down. So I'm going to go t over, what's opposite of it? It's the 98.8. T over the sine, put over the opposite, sine of 98.7 equals, okay, opposites, right? Opposites. 22 over the sine of 43. I just have to cross multiply, and I'm almost done, right? Bring that up there. Little t equals 22 times the sine of 98.7 over the sine of 43. And I just need to use my calculator. I don't need to sine inverse because I don't need an angle. Don't need an inverse because I don't need an angle. So I'm just going to go 22 times the sine of 98.7. Close the parentheses. Divided by sine of 43, close parentheses, and I get an answer about 31.9 degree. 31.9, not degrees, 31.9. Okay. Not too bad. So, homework today.